All right, I'm going to break down the big fight we're facing that frankly dwarfs the seriousness of government-run, government-hijacked healthcare, 20% of the economy. As important as that is, it is nothing compared to open world government run for and by a private intergroup of central banks. I couldn't believe it. I was watching CNN this morning on the treadmill, and they were admitting, yeah, the dollar may die like Argentina, and we need to have a new world reserve currency the UN's calling for. But don't believe me, just Google the term UN calls for replacing the dollar with new currency. And you'll see AP, Reuters. We cover that in the Obama deception that's been out for 6 months. And when we released the Obama deception, they were hot and heavy, not on the healthcare takeover, but on the banking reform. Now, 6 months ago, they'd only stolen about $10 trillion in 6 months. Now they've stolen $23.7 trillion. 23.7 trillion, 10 and a half months into the bailout. And look at that headline, London Telegraph. UN wants new global currency to replace dollar. I just want to put that up there for people that are still in denial, because the media for decades called anybody a lunatic kook if you read UN documents, if you read Club of Rome documents, if you read CFR documents, if you read articles out of Money magazine where they were calling for it. It didn't exist. You were a liar. Well, now they're announcing it on CNN and saying, look, we got to have this next banking reform or we're going to have another bubble and you'll lose your 401k. What did I tell you in the Obama deception? What did I tell you last year when they had the October 3rd banker takeover? I said they're going to plunge the market, pump it back up with the tens of trillions they steal. The banks are making record profits, but Main Street is dying. The layoffs, the job losses, the stores closing, the real economy, Main Street is dying. Vertical integration is happening. Only a handful of central banks, there's only really 7 big ones, are consolidating all the small banks, the infrastructures, bankrupting the states, bankrupting individuals, and consolidating everything. And they had the financial expert on CNN this morning, the bald-headed guy wearing a pinstriped suit, not soup. Be funny if he's wearing a pinstriped suit. Whatever his name is, admitting everything, but like it was good. Oh, the big banks are consolidating and buying everything up with the money they have, and they're going to fix it. We're going to have a new Bank of the World. And I was sitting there watching it while I was jogging and just couldn't believe it. So everything we told you about has now come true. And Obama gave his speech earlier in the first hour. We played some clips of it live, some excerpts. We went to it live several times. And he's saying they're going to get tough on the banks and stop derivatives ever happening again, when in truth, Geithner was the head of the New York Fed, the real federal branch of the private Federal Reserve that actually has power in New York. Bernanke was Fed chairman over the entire system. They told Bush exactly what to do, and there was complete coordination between Geithner and Bernanke and Bush and then Obama appointed people even closer to the scam than Bush had. But it's kind of like Obama's people are the lead bank robber and Bush was in the getaway car. I mean, you know, I'm not being partisan saying who was more guilty. They're all total puppets robbing the bank for the mob boss down the road, living in his palace. That's the New World Order. I mean, this is complete fraud. Complete, total fraud. The exact Clinton bankers that made the rule changes, Bush then protected them while they were looting for 8 years. Again, seamless integration between Clinton, Bush, Obama. Totally on the same team. Total coordination. They even testified in Congress on this. No difference. except they knew Obama would be a better person to sell it to the American people, so he got 4 times the Wall Street Journal, the Wall Street money from Wall Street brokerage firms and banks, according to the Wall Street Journal, than Obama did. Again, Obama got 4 times more than McCain. And that was because they knew he could sell the fraud. Not that McCain was good. They were loading an arrow in their crossbow saying, which arrow is the most vicious I've got? Which one will take down America the best? Which one can con these suckers? All right, this is the one. Let me load it. Powerful crossbow. Let me load Obama into the groove. All right, here comes that dumbass public. Boom! And I mean, it's just like wham! Like, pull up a video of a deer getting shot by a crossbow. You can go to YouTube and say deer hunting with crossbow. And the deer hunter's the New World Order. Obama's the arrow. David Rockefeller, Zbigniew Brzezinski, and Jay Rockefeller, and the Queen of England, and the Queen of the Netherlands. It's all a big joke to them, the Rothschilds as well. They are the hunter. And they got a crossbow that's our government. They've built the government to be big and powerful, to be able to knock the Republic down. And they load a Bush in and they shoot it into us. They load an Obama in. That's all they are, is a weapon. But before we go to that, I wanted to play a short clip of Glenn Beck endorsing the banker bailout bill. Here it is.
I think the bailout is the right thing to do. I believe so deeply in our Constitution. I was for the Patriot Act. You know that I am actually a libertarian at heart. The $700 billion that you're hearing about now is not only, I believe, necessary, it is also not nearly enough.
There was one guy last year that was Ron Paul.
And then he demonizes Ron Paul. That's enough. This is nothing worse than two faces. So there's your savior that's leading your movement. They put him there and made him the leader so he can lead you off, is the point. Now, let's play somebody from Fox who they keep in the basement on internet TV. And most of the public is so dumbed down, they don't know this is internet only. I've been on his show once, not again, even though he liked it. I know the higher-ups put the kibosh on that. But it doesn't matter. The point is, Judge Napolitano, he's not perfect, but he is definitely not a Benedict Arnold. Now, what did he say about the bailout? And more importantly, Obama's new regulatory reform. He said this a few months ago, literally a week after we published this article. Obama regulatory reform plan officially establishes banking dictatorship in the United States. And I said, from a hot dog stand to a car dealership, it states in the legislation Obama introduced that the private banking consortium gives the Federal Reserve control over every facet of the economy. That's what the bill read. Now, Napolitano told the truth, and here is that piece.